All right, Happy New Year, everyone. So I hope your year is starting out quite nicely, quite well. Right before, or I should say during the break between Christmas and New Year's, I conditioned a pair of boots or I tried to fix a pair because I was cooking and I dropped a drop of olive oil on a boot of mine. And so I attempted to clean that boot, and I think I completely ruined it. So go ahead and I'll show you that video now. All right, here we go. Okay guys, so today I'm going to condition the 2940. So the reason I'm doing this is because I like to cook, and unfortunately I dropped some olive oil on the tip of my boot. Initially I thought it was just water while I was in the kitchen cooking, and I noticed that drop and it never went away. And so I was like, I know exactly what that is. That's oil. And so when you're eating and if you get oil on your clothes, the easiest way to remove that is just by putting on flour or baking soda on that oil stain, rub it in, and then you take a sponge with dish soap, and you rub that in, and then you throw it in a wash, and the stain is removed. With leather, I wasn't so lucky. I did that, so this is how the boot looked, as you can see. And then I tried that trick on these, and I was not fortunate. As you can see, it lightened there and made the spot worse. So it had that little spot, which annoyed me because it was right on the tip. And like you know, with any stain you have on your clothes or anywhere, it's magnified by you, and other people may not see it, but you know it's there, so you're kind of like, that's all you see. So I tried that trick, and now I've kind of made it worse. I made it worse. So what I'm going to do is just apply boot oil. This what I'm going to do is apply this all-natural boot oil to the entire boot, just in hopes that it will solve this issue of that annoying spot. So I'm going to remove the laces, use the welt brush, use this brush to give them a quick clean, and then apply the boot oil. All right, so let's get into it. So these boots sat at Red Wing for a while. I had them, and they sat at Red Wing, and I had one of the guys work on them, just cleaning them up. The eyelets had a little corrosion around there, and so he was going to clean that, but initially he just tackled the leather and cleaned the leather for me. And then they sat there for a while, and I was kind of like, all right, while I was in Europe, they were there, and then I came back, and I was like, how are my boots doing? And he's like, oh, I'm still working on them. And then I think I dropped off a couple of pairs of, I dropped off a couple of pairs to get resold. And I was like, I'm just gonna take them back. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't get to cleaning the, around the eyelets. He's like, I got busy with, work, which I understand. So I just came home and cleaned the eyelets myself, which is fine. It's kind of like, it's soothing, to clean your boots, I think, to condition them. I think it's quite a soothing process. Sometimes, like during the weekend, I can just put on the weekend, I can maybe just put on something, maybe a game or something, and just sit there and condition a boot, or just listen to music and then just condition boot. It's kind of nice. You're getting two things done. Watching a game, conditioning a boot. Also, I'm kind of curious as to how dark these are going to get once I apply the oil, the boot oil. I'm curious as to how dark they're going to get. So I'm going to start with this one first, since that has the spot on it, and I'll put this one aside. And I have a shop rag, clean shop rag, and this all natural boot oil by Red Wing. I could use mink oil. I just want to try the boot oil just because. I put the boot oil on my harvesters, my black harvesters. I put them on my Iron Rangers, and I applied the boot oil to something else. What else? I think the Coopers. All right, let's give it a go. Let's start with this top bit, which got the, man, that got dark. See, now that's gonna really annoy me now. I just hope that it's not gonna get worse. It's so interesting. So like the parts, see, look at the little bit of the orange coming off. The parts of the boot which have the little bit of marks on them have gotten darker. That's fascinating. See, now that's gonna really annoy me now. This part got darker. Look at that. That's horrible. So you start one way, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fix that. And then you end up with a bigger problem now. Man. Look at a lot of oranges coming off of that. A lot of the Oro. This Oro's coming off. See those details of that darkness in there? It's coming off. Or it highlights it. So when this dries, look at all that. It's interesting. Wonder why it does that. I'm out there. Maybe it's like if you were drawing and you kind of like shaded a boot. You know, you see that? All those spots where you're kind of like creasing. This really scares me right here. Look at that. That scares me. I'm gonna put this one aside. Let that dry. Look at the difference. It's like, hold on, look at this. Look at that. It started off like that, now it looks like this. Man, I better not have ruined that boot. Trial and error, my friends, trial and error. So you look at that. It's interesting how that applying this highlights some. Is it where the leather has friction that it highlights? And like in the inside here, it's nothing really happens. Is there not enough friction? Like here, you see it gets darker there. That's really interesting how that just highlights it. Let's try this toe part and see what happens. We'll do the tongue first. where the laces are. You see where it's a little bit, this lighter bit where the laces are. I bet you that gets darker. Yep, look at that. Amazing. It's like a black light. The leather, the boot oil is like a black light on the Oro Russet leather. Highlights all these. Oh man, I'm scared. I'm scared. Well, hopefully when they dry, they'll lose this craziness that they have here. All right, so I applied a generous amount, as you see. I'm going to let these sit and dry, and then we'll get back to, hopefully get back to what they look like. Oh man, what did I do? All right, let's let these dry and cross our fingers. All right, we'll be back. All right, so as you can see, the boots, I put on a couple layers of boot oil. I should have used leather cream now that I know. I don't know. I don't know. The boots to me are, unfortunately, I used the wrong thing. You live and you learn. Trial and error. No, I don't know what to do with those exactly. So, lesson learned on the Oro Russet, leather cream and not boot oil. Yeah, it sucks. But what are you gonna do? Thank you guys for watching, and remember, be a boot. See you guys next time.